time the van and I are not in the backyard. This weekend was the Moab Utah car show. Brought the van down. Sorry about the wind. It's windy. Deal with it. All right, let's get into it. All right, you guys, I just filled the gas tank. Heading for Moab, Utah. There's a car show there tomorrow. They've had that going for over 30 years. Gonna go check it out. Time to get on the road. If I get to something interesting, I'll turn the camera back on. Alright, you guys, I decided to get off the interstate. It's pretty windy today. It's blowing me everywhere. I got taken the back way into Moab. What we got here used to be the town of Cisco. There ain't much left of it now. You can see there's a few buildings left. You may have seen this before and I didn't know it. It was in the movie Thelma and Louise. But for now I'm gonna stay on this road. Up ahead is Highway 128 and that'll take me to Moab. It's a pretty beautiful drive. When I get to the canyon I'll set up time lapse. You can get a little taste of it. Sorry about the wind, but it's a windy day. We're at Dewey Bridge. It used to be a suspension bridge. It was built in 1916. It was part of Highway 128. It was only one lane wide. That's why they put in the other bridge over there. When I first started coming to Moab, you could walk across it. But like, I don't know, 15 years ago, some kid was playing with matches and burned everything down. Alright, we're about to go in the canyon, so I'll get the camera set up for time lapse. Here we go. Well, the car show's over. People were loving the van. Lots of smiles, lots of questions. I don't know how many times I heard shaggin' wagon. At least 100. Time to hit the road. Till next time. Thanks for visiting Van Gogh Garage in Carburetor Spring, Colorado. Bye.